Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to continue on the series where we were creating apps on Microsoft Teams. So in this video we will going to be creating PowerAutomate that will send an approval request to the supervisor of WFH approver. So we will create a new record, and when the record is created, a request is sent to the approver, and based on what the approver does, we will get the results. So for that you have to go to the Power Apps. If this option does not appear to you, you can click here and search for the Power App and choose from here, and then it will appear here. After that you can click here. So you will get this screen. If you click this see more, and then you will get this option. One of the strange thing that I have seen is you cannot create a flow from here, so you have to click see here, see all again, and once you get this you can create a PowerAutomate flow here from here. So over here we have an option called cloud flow. So you have three types of flow: an automated flow, instant flow, and scheduled flow. An automated flow is something where you can define a particular trigger, and based on that trigger this flow is triggered. On the instant flow, it's a kind of a manual flow which you have to trigger by yourself. So you click it and it gets triggered. And schedule is something where you define a time period when it's triggered, so you can define particular time of a day or particular on an hourly basis, weekly basis, even on minute basis. You can schedule that. So for today's video we're gonna create automated cloud flows. So let's click here. uh, so now let's name this flow. I will call it WH approval flow, and then I search for a trigger, and the trigger would be when a record is created. So when a record is created is my trigger, and you can see that there are multiple options that are arriving, but we will choose the first one because in the last video we have created a table in common data service. If our database was SharePoint or Azure SQL Server, we could have used these triggers, but since our record is being created in common data service or Dataverse, we are going to use this trigger. So let's click it and click create. So once this is done, we will choose the trigger condition as create an update. Then the entity name would be WFH. Scope of this is, so we have four types of scope. So if it's user, then when a record which you created is update, only this flow is triggered. But when you put an organization, any record that you edit, this flow is triggered. Business unit, if the record is within your business unit, only if this flow is triggered. Best thing would be to do organization. There is a logic behind parent child as well. There is a good documentation around this on Microsoft official documentation as well, which you can study. uh, so let's choose organization to be on the safe side because it gives the maximum access. I'll put a condition. So the condition would be to check if approval status is null. So go to expression and type for null. So if the expression is null, what I will do is, it means the request was just submitted. So we'll update the record. So we choose common data service and then update. So update a record. Which record to update? WFH status. So we want to update WFH request, the same record that was just created. So WFH again. This gives you the unique identifier of the record, and go over here and change the approval status to pending. So request has been given and it is at the pending state. Let's go a little down, search for approval. So we have approval here. So in approval there are three types of approval. First one is just create an approval and do nothing. Second one is create an approval and wait for approval, and third one is just wait for approval. So we want to start the approval process as well as wait until we get some responses from the respective supervisor. So we start like this. Now we have different approval types. We will choose first to response because we don't have multiple responses or multiple approvers, so we just choose this one. After this, we keep the title someone is requesting WFH, and we can create a logic behind who this could be assigned to. But over here I'll just put my static email. Now I can put details on what is sent out. So I can put region, then separate by a line I can put availability, and separate by line, separate by another line I can put date. This is the one, and then I can put tasks. Alright, so after this is done, we will check for another condition, and this checks for whether the outcome from the approval process was approved or not. So if the outcome was approved, then we put a condition that change the status of WFH. So this again, I select this, search for update, and WFH. I put an identifier which is again WFH, and over here the approval status is now report pending. So WFH has been approved but report is pending. If no, WFH is just rejected. So again put WFH request item ID WFH request, and approval status is rejected. Now if approval status equals to null, okay fine, just created, so it will follow this flow. But since this is triggered every time when the record is updated, so there might be conditions where it might be updated from pending to if it's from pending to, it can update to another statuses like request pending or sent out, right? So in that case I will put a no condition where I will check where I will again check if I will do a approval process again. So start and wait for approval, and I will put first one to response. Someone has sent fetch request, then I can again send it to the supervisor, which is me again. I can put the details like reason, availability, date, and then report. I can put a break to it, and then I can check the condition again. So over here we were requesting, but over here we are reporting. So we'll check the outcome. If it's approved, then update the status. Entity name with the WFH again. Put the item ID, outcome, and then approve status as approved, and then again update a record, WFH, item ID, WFH again, approval status is rejected. Create a WFH request. Save it, and now go to Power Apps again. So we got two flows which got triggered, and I think the problem is, so in the first flow we have a record is created. Since it does not have reporting status, the first condition became true, and it updated a record, sent out for approval. And since I have not passed since I have not approved it, it's waiting for my approval request to happen. But what happened now is it has updated status for this record. So next one, which is another one, got triggered because now I have like changed the status from pending, so it's pending, and since pending is not null, this flow is now triggered, and again it is waiting for approval. So since we do not want this to work when it's pending, I can edit this. In this case, approval for equals to null, and this part is triggering, but approval can be pending as well. So in that case, we don't want this to run because the report has not been submitted. It just has been changed to pending, which is there. So what we do is we remove all this and put another condition that checks if the approval status is pending, which could happen, as well as report is not equals to null. So okay, so now I'll have another approval flow, which is first to respond, and someone has wfh report, and now it is assigned to me, and then oops, and then I can update. But first of all, let's check the condition. So condition, I check the outcome equals to approve. If it is approved, and then I will update the record, and I will put wfh request, and again I will put wfh, which is an identifier, and mark it as approved. And then I'll come here, again update the record and mark it as wfh, again wfh, and mark it as rejected. Okay, let's save this. Now let's test it out. This was the one where pending happened, so let's run it. So pending occurred, but since there was no report, this stopped here and nothing happened. But if you send out the report, the flow will send out the approval will send out to the user, and it will ask for the approval. And just to show you how the email looks like, so over the email you will get something like this, and if you put an approve, you can put comment and you can submit, and this will trigger the flow and gives you notification on Microsoft Teams. So if you check here, this has sent the notification over the Teams saying that it has been approved. So this is how the approval flow works in Teams. You can create approvals for different other purposes, and that's it guys. If you like this video, please like and subscribe. If you have any comments or if you want any feedbacks, please let me know through the comments. Thank you so much for watching. See you in next video.